Hello, my name is Bill Keach from Sunbelt Computer Software, and today I'd like to talk about adding editable fields to a generated PDF. Editable PDF fields allow you to send a PDF to a user. They can enter data then inside this PDF and either print it out or send it back to you where that data can be then extracted. So first, let's take a look at the sample program to see what it actually does. We bring up the sample program and we see that we have three buttons. One to create the PDF, and we'll look at that code in a little while here. One that will load the PDF and allow us to fill in some fields. And then once we've loaded the PLF, we'll be able to extract the fields out. So first we'll start by creating the PDF, which is just a straightforward process using PRTPAGE instructions. Next we'll load the PDF up. We're just actually invoking the PDF, and when it comes up, we will see the various editable fields indicated in there. And we see we've got a number of fields in there as samples that show different borders, different mechanisms of using them. We can just click on one here, and we can type in a name, another style here. We have a sample part that has a different color used in it, and at the same time allows multiple lines. So say 1, 2, 3 street in any town. One that has an edit built in that we'll talk about. In this case, it allows us to have an edited SSN, and an example that just allows a numeric. So in this case, we've now filled in some data, and we can come back, add more data if we wish. And then when we're done, we can either close it or we can cause it to be saved off and close it. If we don't save it off before we close, we will be prompted. So we'll save this off and we will close it. Now we have the capability of also then taking that PDF that was generated and extracting the fields out. In this case, we see Sam Smith. We see that we have 3 lines in here separated by \r, the SSN, which is gotten as how the formatting is, and of course the age of the user. Now we'll stop the program and take a look at what happens underneath the code for each one of these buttons. So let's start by taking a look at the function that gets called when we press the create button, which is create PDF file. It starts by, of course, creating a PDF using a specific file name, sets up the various fonts, the positioning, which we're going to be using Low English, some of the static fields to begin with, and then calls a new print page control called *edit that was added in 10.7a. *edit takes the position as a rectangle of where the edit should be displayed, and then it takes a string that describes what the edit should look like. In this case, we're looking at the type of edit, that the data that can be put into it, which is going to be, in this case, 0. We'll talk about the various types here in a second. Flags, the name of the edit, what type of border we wish, and the length of the number of characters that can be put into the edit. Now, of course, you're not always going to want to be making up big strings embedded directly into your program. So in the sample program, we've created a series of functions that allow you to create this string up and then call the actual *edit with positioning. These functions you'll see that we'll take a look at are called create PDF edit. That puts in the various basic elements that we show here. Print PDF edit, which will take the rectangle and print it out. And in between, we'll also have other functions that allow you to do things like add tooltips, set specialized flags, and perhaps change the appearance. So why don't we start by going up and taking a look at the function called create PDF edit. The create PDF edit function is very simple. It basically sets up for a new PDF edit. It then takes the parameters that were sent in, which is type, flag, name, border, and length, and makes the first part of the string of them using the T equal, the F equal, the N equal. If there's a border, which is optional, the B equal, and if there's a length, which is also optional, the L equals. To make it easier, we have added constants for all these various fields that we can find at the top of the program. And we'll see as an example that for F, the flag can either be none or it can be print, which will allow the field to be printed. The type, we've got a number of series of types in here where we can say you can use 0 for any characters, numeric digits 0 through 9, numeric digits that also add in the plus, the minus, and the decimal point, convert everything to lowercase, convert everything to uppercase, or use a custom JavaScript filter that we'll talk about later. You also, at the same time, can add in a border, which is going to be either none, or a basic border, or the basic border with just an underline. Of course, the length is going to be nothing but a number, which will be the maximum length in characters, and the name is the field name that you will eventually want to reference it as. Back at the print PDF edit function, what it will do is it will create the text fields out of the basic text field that we made when we called the create PDF edit. Any JavaScript that might be there we add in, and any other extra PDF commands we will also add in under the X and J equals respectively. We then explode out the text positioning we were given and call the asterisk edit control to do our positioning and display the edit field. Back at the create PDF function, you'll see that we can use these two functions to create a series of fields. We can also use some of the other functions that are in the sample to add such things as tooltips, change it into be multi-line. In this case, this is changing the default appearance to have a 12 point font and a red color. Down below, you can see we're actually adding some JavaScript to do formatting for the Social Security number. So let's take a quick look at the JavaScript. The JavaScript is just some standard JavaScript that allows us, on having keystrokes, to filter what keystrokes and what values are in the data field for the editable PDF field. More information on this can be found in some of the extra documentation we've sent on PDF JavaScript and a bit more on the actual PDF spec. Finally, the create ends up making a integer field here with a custom border, and then we go close the print file and the PDF's done. Now to load, the load button, we end up just executing the name, which brings up a PDF viewer, and then we actually, when the PDF viewer comes back from the execute, we go and load the actual PDF file into memory so that it's available to extract the various fields out. Extracting the fields is shown below, where once we've loaded it, We've written a routine that will go in and take a look for the data given the name that you gave us at the n equals parameter. So it's very important that you put in the n equals parameter, and also very important that each field name is unique. The field name is then pulled out and you have the data. Finally, I'd like to see at the end that this program is available up on GitHub underneath the samples. Please take a look at all the source code. You'll find it's easy to change various things around, see how things work, and let us know what you think of editable fields. Thank you very much. For Sunbelt Computer Software, this has been Bill Keach.